What if your biggest setback became your greatest story? Iron Man, brain injury survivor, coach. Scott McDermott doesn't just talk about resilience, he lives it. Welcome to Living the Warrior's Code with Coach Scotty, Canada's high-impact speaker on resilience, mindset, and human potential.
I love to help people. I love to coach people. I'm a 24-year veteran personal trainer. I love nutrition and fitness. I love really making a difference.
Today's guest is back racing and more focused than ever. And his real passion, he wants to be a professional speaker and coach. Let me welcome a new friend to my life, and I will say a gift to this world, Mr. Scott McDermott.
So yeah, your credits here are you're a personal trainer and an ultra-distance triathlete, and you're the subject of an award-winning feature-length documentary.
And a BHAG, a big hair audacious goal, is something that is huge. It's something you absolutely want, and it's outside of your potential right now. It's more than you could do right now. You're gonna need to grow to do it. It's going to challenge you.
Life's dealt me a bad hand. Maybe, or maybe it's the best hand you've ever been dealt. It just doesn't look like the hand you thought you were gonna get dealt. And that's hard to do when you're in the crap of it. But if you can realize that whatever is happening to you is happening for you, because you're gonna grow from it.
I had a challenging childhood. I love my parents, no strike against them. They were both alcoholics. There were some things. And I learned to running away from the bullies to get home from school or get home from the movie theater after enduring 90 minutes of people throwing popcorn at my head. I ran home hard for 5K. I just kind of was used to suffering. And so when I got to triathlon, it was like applied suffering. And sure. I just was like, when things got really, really hard, I didn't quit. I just don't quit. And I realized that all the trials and tribulations of childhood became an asset. I think there's a lot of layers to it. A big piece, I think, a lot of ultra endurance athletes do it for a pretty deep reason. It fills a hole in your life that's broken some other way. Exercise is amazing. Like if you look a lot of the top drugs that people take for stress and anxiety and sleep, they all come from neural pieces that are released after exercise.
It's why we're in trouble as a society. Because
Instant.
Pizza is always easier than making supper. And Netflix is always easier than exercising, always. And like if you look at human beings, we run on three key principles: seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. That's it. You can break all psychology down to those three things. Seeking pleasure, well, sitting on the couch watching Netflix, eating pizza is pretty pleasurable, right? Doesn't require any energy, right? But in 20 years, it's really painful because you're in trouble.
And I believe in taking time to do vision boards and to dream and to set goals and have that passion for, this is my life. This is my one shot. What am I going to do with my one shot? Because I'm here to tell you, it can change in a heartbeat.
But it's action, feedback, correction. That's Hollywood. And what I love about what we can learn from Hollywood is they use that clapper to mark the scene and try again. And they just call it a mistake. It's just a mistake. Who cares? They do it over and over again. How many people do you know in life have a mistake and they're just done? We don't need to be. It's just a mistake.
And my head smashed into a concrete curb and I broke the back of my skull open and suffered one of the worst brain injuries you could get. I got a diffuse axonal scarring with a point impact and a hemorrhage to the frontal lobe. So I smashed my brain really bad. It takes the highest amount of force to shear your brain sideways so that the white matter and gray matter come apart. All of the medical textbooks say I should have been a vegetable. So I'm crazy lucky or whatever, you know.
When I woke up in the hospital, I was confused and in a lot of pain, with wires sticking out of me everywhere and metal staples protruding from my head, and I ached. My last memory was that I was riding my bicycle in the Ultraman World Championships in 2015, and I was in 10th place.
As this whole process unfolded and I did the long journey back to getting back to racing, because I will tell you, in that first waking moment in the hospital, I knew I would be back to racing. That was not a question, because I'm a firm believer in taking a boat anchor and throwing it into the future with a rubber band on it and let it pull you to your goal. So my goal was clear. I needed to get well again
so I could race again because I loved racing. And I needed to be a fully functional human for my son and my wife. I was so clear on the goal of recovering. And I was so clear on getting back to the World Championships and getting back to whole and good again, because my son was 3 at the time, that it was really hard. But my goal for the future was so strong, it just kept pulling me. It took 3 days for my wife to get there with my son. And so to look at my 3.5-year-old and come face to face with that was tough. It was a long time before I could look at that photo without crying. It still gets me a little.
Gratitude to me is one of the most single powerful things there is. You can't be in a place of gratitude and miserable. You can't be in a place of gratitude and be failing. If you're grateful, your whole mindset on everything changes. And I soaked in every moment of the glorious journey that I was privileged enough to race again. And that finish line was just epic, just epic.
And I hope that when you find your big, hairy, audacious goal, the one that freaks you out a little bit, that you take some action, listen to your feedback, make a correction, and never give up. Thank you very much.